This is an old camera, and the trick I'm going to show you works for older devices, camera, maybe even cell phones, and it works for no powering up, but also sometimes for lens error messages. So no power, lens error message, and also sometimes for card reading errors. All these have one source in common, one very easy to fix, and it may not solve all the problems, but it's so easy to try. So just give it a try. Again, even if you have a lens error, there are usually two problems. Either you drop the camera onto the lens and there is physical damage, or is the other thing that I'm going to show right now. So what happens actually is something that I didn't see on internet, but it's ridiculous. You see, the battery has these copper contacts, and because of many years, there is a layer that is invisible to the eyes, a layer of oxidation over the contacts. Again, this is not visible to the eyes. And what happens is when there is a layer of oxidation, and same happens with cards, there's going to be a very slight layer of oxidation, and then you get card error. That's because the electrical contact is not fully doing it. So it's just a restriction in current passing through these contacts because of that oxidation thing. And again, the same goes on the battery contact. So it's just like the camera will power up perhaps, but it doesn't have sometimes enough power drained from the battery to move out the lens. And sometimes it may not even have power at all. And also this may cause the battery, when you put it on the charger, to not charge properly, give an error, charging error. So there are several things that happens, and the fix is extremely easy. It's ridiculous. I'm saying it again. Grab something that can scratch, like a tiny screwdriver, and just scratch. I'm doing this one hand, so it's not very easy for me. Put a little bit of force and just scratch the surface here for a couple of seconds. Try to just scratch it, the entire surface. You don't have to puncture it, don't go crazy, just a slight scratch. Usually we'll see actually the scratch if you look from the sides. Just try to erase that oxidation layer. It's not difficult, it's just simple, but you need to kind of feel the metal making a scratch on the surface. Again, don't try to puncture, go for all of them. Again, try to go for all the surfaces. Go for the card also if you have errors on the card. This is an older card. Each contact must be done. And by the way, I want to point out, I do have electrical contact cleaner spray. Do not use this in any way on this kind of problem, because you are going to get liquid inside the battery, inside the card, and you are going to make a short. You are going to damage the battery, maybe the camera. You may even make a fire. So no, big no on this one. I know it works for this, but do not use it in this situation. So once you do this on the side, on the card side, even if you don't have errors on the card, on the battery side. I don't think on the charger is really needed. Now for the camera, you also have these contacts. No, you cannot see them from this angle. They are right deep there in there. I also suggest to try to reach them, but be careful because those are very small pieces of metal. So try to just go on top of them, just kind of pet them, just gently. Never go from the side to side. You are going to bend them, and never go try to grab them. Just very gently from the top, try to reach each one. Maybe use a flashlight. This is going to clean on the camera side, but most of the times is on this side that the oxidation happens, less so on the camera, but go for the camera as well. Now for the card, if you want to try to clean inside the camera, is not possible obviously. So what I would do, you just try to insert the card, first clean the card here, and just insert the card maybe several times like this. It has a spring. I think I put mine in reverse, so just try to insert it several times. Let's see if it goes this way perhaps. Yeah, so just try to scratch like this. This is going to scratch the contacts inside the camera. the camera contacts, just like this. You may lock it, unlock it several times to go for it like this. Now, when I did receive this camera, it could not, actually it would power up, and it was said, actually it was an error saying remove cap off from the lens error. Obviously there was no cap on it, and it would really not power up from that point on at all, no matter how many times I turned on. No chance. Once I did clear the contacts, perfect. Right now it's working perfectly. Maybe I can give you the proof of it, but and I'll show you one more detail in a moment. So once I did one hand operation, once I did this, is just always working perfectly without any kind of problem. So, and the focus, zoom, all work perfectly. So this is really what happens on maybe 10 years old cameras, cards, batteries, and so after many years, this is what happens. Now I do want to suggest, if you want, this is not mandatory, but this is dielectric grease. And if you look, perhaps you could see maybe on the battery side, maybe if you can see here, you see it's like a slight amount of grease. I did smear, but very small amount, because you really don't want to make contact in between those two contacts, in between them. So very just a microscopic amount of grease, just smear it on each contact. You could see it. This will prevent that oxidation from happening again. This is just if you want it to last for another 10 years, 15 years. Same for the battery, but again, small amounts, so you don't put contact in between two small pieces of metal. Again, this is something that I cannot stress enough. I think many cameras have been thrown to the garbage bin because of this very issue. I'm not saying all issues are being caused by this. Obviously, if you drop the camera on the lens, or if you get go to the beach and get sand inside, that's completely different problem. But this will surprisingly fix many situations. Just give it a try. It's childish simple to try it, and hopefully you will be lucky just like I was. Thanks for watching.